Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Monday, November 17th. Spent some time at the range today. Took a buddy of mine who never shot before, so he had a good time. All right, let's talk about what's going on. Down day today, down. Folks, the flows are weak. They are weak. And part of this is kind of like a hangover from the government shutdown, I think, because I don't see the daily flows. I mean, they're not even running above last year. I mean, at least we had that in October. You know, it wasn't a lot, but the daily flows were surpassing levels of the prior year. That's not happening anymore. There's slim negative differential almost every day now. That's a problem. I think that's related to the shutdown. I don't think the recovery from the shutdown is complete yet. I think funds still have to be paid, still have to go out. So I'm giving it a few more days. But the other thing, man, is those net government transfers. I mean, they are really dropping. And that's the tariffs. It's also, I guess, the government shutdown. But I mean, the tariffs are really starting to bite. And they're down the net government transfers. I did this, updated it on Friday. They're down now 103 billion compared to last year. So, I mean, that just keeps getting worse. That just keeps getting worse. And what are those? Those are net government transfers from the economy to the government. All right? I mean, think about it. Last fiscal year, which ended on September 30th, net government transfers were up 260 or 250 billion over the previous year. To give you just some perspective. Now they're down by 100 billion. So that's like a 300 billion swing. I mean, that's, you talk about taking a hit to the economy, man. That's taking a hit. I think, we're down below the skimmers, if you want to use the swimming pool analogy. And I was hoping that if leading flows were going to pick back up, that we could start to narrow that gap in net government transfers. But I don't see, maybe like I said, it might take a little bit more time because we just ended the government shutdown. When was that? Like Trump signed it last Thursday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. So we had, basically 1-2 days and today. So I got to give it a little bit more time, but it does not look good. And this completely, in my mind, explains the weakness in the market. I mean, it's percolating. It's been like it's taken a little time. It's been kind of like a delayed reaction for this shutdown to have the impact felt on the economy. And I think that's what's happening right now. So I'm going to give it a few more days just to see if I notice any kind of a pickup in leading fiscal flows, in the leading, treasury withdrawals. But right now, I got to say that these flows are very weak. And I've been telling you guys that there's not a lot of upside for the market. I was expecting to see a bounce. We didn't get any bounce. But even so, I said, even with a bounce, we're not, the upside is limited because of the drain that's happening from the tariffs. So that's the environment we're in. I mean, until I see a pickup, at least a pickup in the leading flows, I don't think we're going to see any kind of a real improvement in the net transfers because, again, that's the tariffs. And they're not going away. I think even if the Supreme Court says that you can't do it, Trump's going to find a way to do it. Like, he's really committed to this. So, and again, I always got to throw this in there at the end, but the other thing, which is much harder to quantify, is what's happening with the foreign sector. Is the foreign sector, because, Trump talks about, we got 17 trillion coming in. 17 trillion. It's never been seen before. There's no 17 trillion. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe countries pledged. Maybe that's the total amount pledged. I don't know. But I don't see it necessarily in bank credit. That's where you would see it. That's where you would see it. But I did say that keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar might be the barometer of what's happening with the foreign sector. And that's a key piece of the puzzle. All right, I've been including this in my videos now for like a couple of weeks to keep reminding you guys that that's a key piece of the puzzle. Because that's what's supposed to happen with that's the goal behind the tariffs, is to entice or force the foreign sector to become a net spender. It's a little bit harder to track. It's not like the foreign sector puts out a treasury statement every day, collectively with all these countries we deal with. No, we need to find a useful, clever, correct way to gauge that. And I think the best way to look at that is to look at the dollar. What is the dollar's trend? And it's slow right now. It's certainly not blowing through the roof or anything of that nature, but it's holding its gains. And, another thing that I look at too, which is just, that would be a tiny slice of what I'm talking about, is petroleum exports, which are strong and rising. So it gives you an inclination, it gives you an indication, at least to some degree. And then, of course, we get the trade deficit numbers every month, but those are 2 months behind. But anyway, we could see the trend of what's happening there. It's the trend of that data that could give us some information. Anyway, today actually was the quarterly interest payment. It didn't happen on Friday. It happened today. So, maybe that reserve addition that I was talking about, the effect of that, sometimes there's a negative effect from that with a large reserve addition that comes in very rapidly. That might have been some of what happened today. So when I get the data tomorrow, and we'll take a look. But the flows, they're no good. They're no good right now. And I don't know if they're going to stay that way or if we still have to wait for the whole entire shutdown to be reversed. Maybe that's it. I got to give it a few more days. Anyway, that's it for now. I was at the range today. Beautiful day. Did some shooting. And please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video. And go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader. See you tomorrow. Bye.